Many years ago, I worked as a teacher in a quiet little town. I loved my students and enjoyed every moment in the classroom. The school was small, but it was always full of laughter, stories, and happy children. Every morning, I walked to school with joy in my heart. But one year, everything changed when a new student arrived. Her name was Emily. Emily was different from the other children. She sat alone in the last row and never spoke to anyone. She never smiled, never played during break time, and never joined group activities. While the other children laughed together, Emily stayed silent and looked out the window with sad eyes. Day after day, I watched her carefully. She was intelligent and kind, but something inside her seemed broken. She rarely completed homework and often looked tired and hungry. I knew there was a painful story hidden behind her silence. One afternoon after class, I gently asked her, "Emily, why do you always look so sad?"
For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, tears filled her eyes. In a soft voice, she whispered, "I have no family anymore." My heart sank. Emily told me that her parents had died in a terrible accident 2 years earlier. After that, she lived with her aunt, but the woman treated her badly and eventually disappeared, leaving Emily alone in an old house with no care, no warmth, and very little food. That night, I could not sleep. I kept thinking about that lonely little girl sitting silently at the back of my classroom. She was just a child, yet she carried so much pain in her small heart. The next morning, I made a decision that changed both of our lives forever. After school, I brought Emily to my house and showed her a small empty room. "You can stay here," I told her softly. "You don't have to be alone anymore." Emily looked around quietly. Then, for the very first time, I saw her smile. It was small and shy, but it was beautiful. Slowly, life began to change for her. She started eating properly, sleeping peacefully, and focusing on school again. Every week, she became a little happier. She laughed more, made friends, and even joined school activities. Soon, the quiet girl who once hid in the corner became one of the brightest students in class. At night, she sometimes had bad dreams, and I would sit beside her bed until she felt safe again. Other nights, we read books together or talked for hours about life, dreams, and the future. One day, during an art project, Emily drew a picture of a small house with 2 people standing together. One was her, the other was me. Under the drawing, she wrote, "My real home." I almost cried when I saw it. Months passed, and Emily continued to grow into a strong, kind, and confident girl. She helped younger students, won a writing competition, and became loved by everyone at school. Then, one day, a letter arrived. Emily's aunt had been found and wanted to take her away. Emily looked terrified when she read the letter. Quietly, she asked me, "Do I have to leave?" I held her hands and replied, "Only if you want to." She shook her head immediately. "I want to stay with you." So, I fought for her. After many meetings, papers, and long weeks of waiting, the final decision came. Emily was allowed to stay with me permanently. That day, she cried tears of happiness and hugged me tightly. From that moment on, we truly became a family. Years later, when I think about Emily, I no longer remember the sad little girl sitting alone in the last row. I remember the brave girl who learned to smile again. Emily taught me something very important. Sometimes, love is not about blood or family names. Sometimes, love is simply choosing to stay beside someone when they need you the most. And that choice can change a life forever. If you enjoyed this emotional English story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring stories to improve your English every day. Comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more real stories. Write proper we ending line